Emily loves to travel. Last year, she went on a trip to London. She saw amazing places, but sadly, she had lots of problems. But why? She'd bought a travel guide and learnt online the best places to visit. But when she got there, the indications led her to places that were crowded with tourists, were closed, bad and expensive food, creepy hotels. She got lost. She even got wet by rain. Her holiday became a real disaster. Then she discovered Travel with Mario digital travel guides, a fun-filled and easy-to-use travel guides to different European cities. When Emily had to plan her next trip to Barcelona, she went straight to Travel with Mario digital guides. Voila! She learned about the day-to-day plans, what to visit section, with opening and closing times, prices, descriptions, personal tips, and she even checked great value for money hotels, day trips outside the city, useful info like maps and weather forecasts. This time, in her trip, she loved the city, the hidden gems, the warm restaurants, the people. She was able to easily navigate, experience local food inexpensively, see local shows, and update on the weather too. This holiday trip was fantastic and gave her another traveling perspective. Emily is super happy now and recommends everybody this amazing guide. So next time, she will certainly be using Travel with Mario digital guides when visiting Europe because it's easy, inexpensive, and fun. Travel as a local. Enjoy your life better.
Part 2. Every major airport in the country is legally required to have its own fire service on site and on call 24 hours every day of the year. Today, London Luton's firefighters are taking part in a specialised training operation to understand how fires behave in certain situations.
We're practicing what we know technique-wise now about how fire behaves in a sealed compartment. And an aircraft is the definitive sealed compartment.
Out on the airfield, the fire service have their own mock aircraft for training. But today they're using specially converted containers where they'll fight the fires. An enormous amount of research has been carried out into how fires behave and the best way to fight them. That research has changed the way firefighters work. It might seem natural to just put as much water on as possible. In fact, that's exactly what you don't do. And before they use the technique on the fire, they practice.
They're using very short bursts of water as opposed to what we would naturally understand as putting lots of water onto the direct fire source itself. By putting a lot of water onto a fire, you create lots of steam, and therefore lots of heat goes around the body, increasing the body core temperature.
Huge amounts of steam would simply make it more dangerous for any passengers and for the firefighters themselves, who need to be able to continue to fight the fire.
It's a way of getting closer, safer. It's a way of improving the conditions, not just for the firefighter, but for potential casualties in there as well. If we can actually improve that ambient condition, the survivability of the fire is far higher.
They demonstrate what happens with too much water.
I'm going to do an over-application demonstration. Okay, from this position then, over-application, this is what it looks like. Enough, bring it down, cone it down, and just dribble it on, paint it on. A little bit more. Okay, rest there. That's over-application now, look at the visibility. Fire's still burning, but you're over-applying.
It might suggest that someone's put a bit too much water on it maybe as well. But hey, they're only learning just now, so hopefully this afternoon it shouldn't be quite as bad as that.
So that's how not to do it. Each firefighter has a turn at using the technique.
It's all about hands-on training. This is the best way to do that type of training, is to get hands-on. Although we do a theoretical side in the classroom first, then we move on to the practical side, and this is where you can make your mistakes and then learn from that. So, and now it's onwards and upwards.
Later they'll see the results of tackling the fires with the correct techniques they've been taught.
A group of young people, all in blue shirts.
Waiting for their flight to Cyprus are 25 athletes from Hitchin Swimming Club. They're not going for a holiday in the sun. They're going for a very strenuous week of intensive training under head coach Lee.
One of the long distance swimmers, they're going to do about 60,000 metres in the week. Down to some of the sprinters and more power athletes going to do about 35, 40. They're up at 6 o'clock for the morning training, so it's a bit harsh in the morning, so yeah, we don't get that much free time.
It's going to be a hard regime, but for these dedicated young swimmers, it's what they're used to.
We swim 7 times a week, so like nearly every day. Yeah.
How do you fit that in around school?
We go in the mornings and then straight to school and then back and then train in the evening sometimes.
It's good because we get free lessons at school, so I get all my homework done then, so I've got time to go train in the evening.
Like many other sporting youngsters across the country, the 2012 London Olympics has given them a real incentive to succeed at their sport. Some of them have their hopes pinned on taking part.
Would you say your stars of tomorrow? Are any of these people going to be in anyone going to be in 2012?
There's 4 or 5 that have got a good chance, yeah. Charlie's probably our youngest, so he's got a good chance of getting there. Alex Baker with the hands up at the end, he's one of our youngest swimmers as well. They're probably the 2 highest ranked swimmers at the moment for their age group they're looking at for 2012.
What's your strength?
Breaststroke. I do a bit of IM as well. Fly back, breast and free. So it's all strokes put together.
So do you think you will have success in the future? What's your aim?
Hopefully, to get to 2012, the Olympics.
Who's your favourite swimmer?
Probably Ian Thorpe, because he's a backstroke as well, the same as me. It's my favourite stroke. He's a backstroke.
He's a
Ian Thorpe's backstroke. Ian Thorpe's backstroke. Michael Phelps' breaststroke.
Do you reckon you're going to be part of the 2012 Olympics? Is that part of your dream?
Yeah, it is part of my dream, and it's very within my range as well. So hopefully see my face in the future, be on Question of Sport, talking to Sue Baker. Baker.
The Hamburg footballers get off their bus.
Some sportsmen who've already made it are coming back to the terminal. Hamburg Football Club, VIPs, supporters and family members, all 160 of them, are returning home after their stay in London and a Champions League match against Arsenal. Unfortunately for them, it didn't go well. They lost 3-1 and are out of the competition.
How was the game?
Oh, bad, very bad. Next time we come, it will be better.
All this way and you lose?
Yes, certainly, from Hamburg. Well, next time, let's hope. Bye-bye.
You're going to Hamburg, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, 32.
What airline is it?
Passenger Services Assistant Marion is directing them to check-in, and she's prepared for some very gloomy customers.
Okay.
So I've heard they lost. I mean, I'm not really into football, but I've heard they've lost, so probably not too happy.
To add insult to injury, many of them are in fact injured and have to hobble their way towards check-in. One person who thinks it was a success is Christian Machowski, who coordinated the team's stay in London. Though the game didn't go well for his clients, off the pitch he made sure they had a good time.
They'd had a river cruise on the Thames on Monday night, and excursions and champagne flight on the London Eye and that kind of thing. So all that went very, very well. The people really enjoyed it. We had very good guides and very good suppliers. So everything went very well apart from the result, which is of course out of our control.
There was at least one happy Hamburg player. Their captain and star, Raphael van der Vaart, scored their only goal, which was a blinder.
It was a dream. After 4 minutes, so a nice goal. I'm happy with it.
Checking in 160 gloomy footballers, their wives and VIPs made the terminal seem a little dismal. But finally they board their flight and head home to Germany, probably hoping that they'll never have to play Arsenal again.
The Hamburg International aircraft taxis away to the runway.
Back on the airfield, the fire service are preparing to put into practice the strategy they were learning this morning about fire behaviour. The scenario is a fire inside the cabin of the plane, and Fire Officer Eddie is setting the conditions that they will face.
The purpose of this afternoon's exercise is for the firefighters to enter into a compartment with limited ventilation.
A fire burns inside the dark container.
Okay, we shut the rear door now. That's the door that they will be coming in to make their entry into this unit. Okay, you see the two kindling fires are starting to increase now, quite substantially.
Outside the container, the firefighters are waiting to enter the mock aircraft. As is the case with real fires, they don't know exactly where it is and what is waiting for them on the other side. At the door, though, they can get a few clues.
Signs and symptoms they're looking for is the coloration of the gases, where in proportion they are to the door frame. Once they open the door, they have a rough idea of what they're going to come up against. Visibility obviously was nil at most times, so therefore they know they have to apply these gas pulses to dilute these gases before making entry. And then before advancing into the next zone, they have to ensure that they've made it safe for themselves, and that's what we're looking for.
As the firefighters progress further inside using the techniques they were practicing in the morning, of very short, sharp bursts of water, visibility clearly improves. If this was a real emergency, they would hope to be able to put out the fire and rescue any casualties.
And they carried out the techniques well today?
They're taking it from the classroom side now into the practical stage, and it's, from my point of view, it's superb. I can't fault them with that. Most people, it's the first time they've ever done anything like this, so it's good that they are taking it all on board.
On our next visit to London Luton, fog descends on the airport.
I don't want to spend Christmas here in London. I want to spend Christmas in Ireland with my family. Please, get me out of here.
And a touch of traditional North African culture comes to check in.
A belly dancer. The end.